So there's this, thing about people trying to get better at PvP. And what better way to get better than to look at PvP guides? This one by Shulkercraft, a renowned YouTube channel for their survival series and farm guides, tutorials and all that, decided to publish a PvP guide. Although this was 10 months ago, they decided to publish this PvP guide, how to win every PvP in Minecraft. Now let's just take a closer look at this and slowly judge whether or not this is actually a good, PvP guide. Anyways, let's get straight into it.
Do you want to improve your PvP skills and want to know what tips pros use? If so,
okay, so he said tips that
or
pros
you are
use.
just starting out
right?
and want to know what tips pros use.
What tips pros use? So right off the bat, we can assume that, alright, everything here should be backed up by professionals who know how to PvP well. Maybe this won't be as bad as I think.
We are gonna talk about everything you need to know to win your next PvP fight. So let's get right into it and start with the basics. Try to get the full protection 4 and unbreaking 3 armor. You can also add...
It's kind of missing mending as well, which is a lot useful for netherite PvP, where those fights are going to be a lot longer, and you can just carry XP bottles to mend your armor along the way so you can last a lot longer.
Other enchantments, but these two should be the main ones, since Sword does a lot more damage per second than Axe can do.
Yes, but people like to use the axe after someone pops a totem because it will just destroy the regeneration and the absorption hearts they get from popping that totem.
Another option is to use an axe and sword combo, meaning you will disable your opponent's shield with an axe and then quickly start attacking him with your sword. This method requires a lot of practice though.
Debatable on a lot of practice. To me, it seems more of like a hotkey issue than practice. Maybe try not to use the entirety of the numbers, because think about it, it's kind of hard reaching 8, 9 or 7. I don't know about a lot of practice, but yeah, some practice is in there.
But crossbows can be loaded and kept in your inventory, so you can quickly shoot when needed.
Yes, but I like to use the crossbow just to inflict a debuff effect on my opponent, because with piercing it can bypass a shield. Some people like to use fireworks. Fireworks do work well as well, but usually in netherite PvP I wouldn't really use a crossbow. Maybe a bow. Actually, yeah, probably a bow. Maybe not a crossbow.
The choice is up to you. Next up in the line are the regular golden apples.
Peasant apples? No, peasant apples are regular apples. But yeah, golden apples are good. Yes, always keep at least a stack on you.
These are a bit easier to get and also do a good job with healing you when needed.
Yep, they give you absorption and regeneration as well as saturation, so good for healing.
But there's also something a bit different and interesting. The suspicious stews.
But why? Why would you use suspicious stews? There's so many better alternatives. Because suspicious stews, they're not stackable. So imagine having a half inventory of just suspicious stews that give you a small effect for like 2 or 3 seconds. It's not good. You should use golden apples, buff potions such as strength, speed, fire resistance. Just maybe not suspicious stews. And they're using the example of netherite, so not sure why you would use suspicious stews in netherite PvP.
For example, making a stew with Oxeye Daisy will give you the regeneration effect when eating.
It's only regen 1. If you eat a golden apple, you get regen 2 for like 3 seconds. It's way better than regular regeneration. Plus you get absorption and saturation.
Here is also a list of all the positive.
Alright, let's look. Fire resistance. Use a fire res potion. It goes for 8 minutes. The suspicious stew goes for like, I don't know, 8 seconds. Blue orchid saturation. Just use golden carrots. Dandelion saturation. Golden carrots, please use golden carrots. Oh my gosh. Jump boost. Not sure why you'd be using jump boost. Regeneration. Eat golden apples. Night vision. Use a Fulbright texture pack. Yes.
Next up, flint and steel or a lava bucket.
Wait, what? Wait, using the example of netherite PvP, flint and steel and lava bucket. Okay, first of all, you should already have fire aspect on your sword. it was netherite, alright? Full decked out, netherite gear, prot 4 and breaking, mending, all that. And you don't even have fire aspect on your sword. There's a problem here.
When you don't.
Also, usually people carry fire resistance potions on them, so they splash themselves. It's 8 minutes of it. It's just not worth it to waste a hot bar, like waste a space for a lava bucket when you can just use fire aspect and your opponent probably has fire resistance.
Also the potions. Make sure to carry quite a few of those.
Alright, let's analyze. So we have strength, good. Regeneration, bad. You have golden apples. Instant health, unless this is netherite pot PvP, you're not really going to be using instant health. I guess it's okay, but you could have fire. There's no fire resistance in this as well. Speed, good, but there's no fire resistance. There's no, maybe even Turtle Master. This is embarrassing.
In your
No fire
inventory,
resistance.
the best ones are probably strength, speed, instant health, and the reach.
Not even fire resistance. What? Regeneration, you don't need regeneration potions if you have golden apples. Strength, speed, yes. Make sure that's strength 2, speed 2. Instant health, not really necessary.
Generation
Anyways,
1.
moving on.
Make sure to dry out the end crystals.
Oh
They
my
do
gosh.
crazy amount of damage and are definitely worth.
I'm not sure if your opponent's going to be jumping around crazy like if they know that you have end crystals, but alright. Crystal PvP is very powerful, very OP.
Trying out. Just keep in mind that it's pretty easy to also blow up yourself with.
And if you're choosing to main Crystal PvP, you should probably have Blast Protection 4 on your leggings, because damage is based on how close the crystal blown up is to your legs.
First, choose your weapon based on your opponent's gear. That means when your enemy is using a shield, for example, it is very hard to do damage with a sword. So make sure to also use a shield and an axe. Also,
Maybe don't. You do have to match exactly what your opponent has. But yeah, if they're carrying an axe, a shield, you should have an axe on you.
how it works is that you place down an obsidian block and an ender crystal on top of it, and also click on it to make it explode.
Yes, yeah, that's how Crystal is. Crystal PvP works just in the most basic nutshell there is.
And you need to do all of this while your opponent is still in the air.
Hit Crystal. Again, yeah, I guess, yeah, try and hit Crystal. If you don't know what that is, you hit your opponent up in the air and then quickly Crystal them while they're still in the air. You can use slow falling as well. Slow falling, tipped arrows, to give you more time to react and more time for them to stay in the air, so you can crystal them easier.
A critical hit is made when.
Now, okay, so critical hits, yes. But what they're doing here, they're demonstrating critical hits, but we can't even see the particles, so we don't entirely know if they're critting. We only know it based on if there's no sweeping, if there's no extra knockback, and also the sound. But usually particles help show crits a lot easier, especially to an audience that you are directing at that has little PvP experience.
So try to always hit criticals when PvPing. They do a lot more damage.
Yes, but you can also get pretty nutty combos as well.
Another tip is to try to hit combos.
There we go. Now, okay, before they explain combos, why are they using netherite PvP to show combos? Usually it's a lot easier to show combos in like a diamond kit, or like a diamond sword kit, or anything like that. In netherite, I mean, you need knockback 2 on that sword for that, for you to show combos. Yeah.
A combo is when you hit your opponent many times in a row without them
Also, you're dealing sweeping hits. You want to do knockback hits.
being able to hit you back even once.
Yes, but it's a lot more in-depth. Basically, what I was saying is that all of this falls onto sprint resetting, which is essentially, again, resetting your sprint by stopping it and starting it again by W tapping, S tapping, and other methods to then deal consistent knockback hits in a combo. Not
Next
entirely
up,
a combo.
try to use the environment to your advantage. For example, when fighting in the mountains, try to push your opponent off the cliff, or when you see...
Oh, and they also don't really mention having a water bucket in your hotbar. I like to keep a water bucket in my hotbar. I guess. And again, they don't even have fire resistance, so you should probably mention having a water bucket.
But now let's talk about the movement. The first and the most important thing is to always stay moving. It's also a lot...
Yes, strafing and all that. Strafe around your opponent. Try, like, if you're getting chased, you can stop unexpectedly and strafe to like the side to catch your opponent off guard. Again, I think what they're trying to say is, yes, make sure you're always moving and strafe to dodge hits, I guess. Again, they don't mention the word strafing, I think, but that's like the key word.
Instead of waiting for them to attack you. So next time...
Well, you can wait for them to attack you, and then you can hit select, and that means they hit you up, and then you hit them right after, so that you reach the ground first while they're still in the air, and you can start a combo.
Never actually know how much health your enemy has left, unless you are playing in a server that shows the other people's health, of course. So don't be scared to back off.
Yeah, okay, so I think that slightly touching on health advantage. Again, health advantage is knowing when your opponent has more or less health than you, and that decides whether or not you should go aggressive or defensive, or your playstyle should be more aggressive or more defensive in that moment, like whether you should back off or whether you should keep attacking.
Another super useful thing is to W tap when...
Not sure why they didn't explain W tapping in combos, but alright.
And sprinting gives a lot more knockback than the next ones. So the strategy involves double tapping W. After you hit to cancel the sprinting and start a new sprint again. This gives each one of your hits a stronger knockback. You can't do critical damage when sprinting though, so you will have to use this in situations like playing sumo. This is when you're trying to push the opponent off the platform. But none of those tips can save your life when you get killed from behind, so make sure to always face your enemy straight to the eyes. I hope you learned something new and keep on practicing. See ya!
Oh, that's it. Wait, what? Wait, that's it. Oh, alright.